Welcome to Charlie Jane Speakers Radio. This is the show where we share speaking tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your public speaking business. Our goal at Charlie Jane is to get you, the speaker, on the platform in front of thousands of people so that you can teach and motivate your audience, enriching and empowering them to lead fulfilling lives. And now, here's your host, Wendy McNeil.
Hi there, it's Wendy McNeil here with Charlie Jane Speakers, and thank you for tuning in to another podcast. Today I'm going to talk about how does imposter syndrome affect speakers and how can you overcome it. It's going to be a great podcast, but first I want to welcome you over to our amazing Facebook group. It is called Breakthrough Public Speakers. Breakthrough Public Speakers. You might be thinking, wait a minute, Wendy. I thought it was called Grow Your Speaking Business. It was called Grow Your Speaking Business, but we have since changed it to Breakthrough Public Speakers for multiple reasons. I won't get into right now, but one of them was for marketing purposes. So it is called Breakthrough Public Speakers, and you can find us on Facebook. I will also leave the link in the show notes for you. So today's podcast, how does imposter syndrome affect speakers and how can you overcome it? All right. Have you ever felt like you don't deserve your accomplishments, despite working hard to achieve them? Or perhaps you've had this nagging feeling that you're just not as good as people think you are. And you're just waiting to be exposed as a fraud. These are just some signs of imposter syndrome, a common phenomenon affecting all kinds of people, and that includes speakers as well. It's something I've had to overcome myself as a business owner. And it might creep up on you if you're starting your speaking journey and you haven't quite established authority in your niche, in your space. So let's explore imposter syndrome, including how it might affect you as a speaker, and most importantly, how you can overcome it to be a more confident and effective speaker so you can grow. So, what is imposter syndrome? In short, imposter syndrome is a psychological phenomenon that refers to an individual's persistent feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and fear of being exposed as a fraud, despite evidence of their competence and success. Now, when you connect this back to speaking, you might experience imposter syndrome in all kinds of ways. From, let's just say, from feeling as though you don't belong on stage to feeling as though you're not qualified enough to speak on maybe a particular topic. Personally, one of the biggest signs of imposter syndrome that I've witnessed in working with speakers for over 2 decades really is just kind of feeling that their performance wasn't good enough. Even when the feedback they received is positive. Now, I've worked with dozens of speakers who start dissecting their performances as soon as they step off the stage. They're trying to find what went wrong and why it wasn't as good as they wanted it to be. As you can imagine, that is not a healthy habit. Not a healthy habit, especially when you're trying to build a strong foundation, right, for your next performance. So, how can we overcome these feelings of inadequacy and ensure that they don't hold us back from speaking or, leading other speaking-related activities, in like corporate training, workshops, online courses? I think it's fair to say that we all feel a degree of imposter syndrome at some point in our careers, in our business. As a speaker yet to hit, air quotes, big time, it's only natural to feel a little insecure and unsure of yourself. So here's some steps that you can take to kind of address those feelings, in those insecurities. I want you to start by acknowledging and accept what you're feeling. One of the best ways to overcome imposter syndrome is to start accepting what you're feeling. Like any problem, the best start you can make is acknowledging it and accepting that it's something you're struggling with. The first point is to accept that this is totally normal, all right? It's totally normal. If you feel like you're not good enough, it's perfectly normal. I mean, especially for someone who has yet to get booked regularly. Of course, you're not going to feel $1 million when you're still honing your skills and not quite getting where you want to be. Therefore, the first step really is to accept that you're not perfect yet, and that is okay. That is okay. Challenge those negative thoughts and beliefs. Okay, so tackling those negative thoughts and beliefs head on is a critical step in overcoming imposter syndrome. When they do pop up, challenge them, right? So let's just say, for instance, let's say you secured a gig at an event way bigger than you ever thought possible. Yay you for one, right? Go you. If you suddenly feel like you're not good enough to speak at this event, ask yourself what evidence you have to support this thought. Have you always received positive feedback? If so, why are you concerned? You can also frame like any negative thoughts you have in a positive light. To reuse the example above, instead of thinking you're not good enough, reframe it to, I have valuable experience and insights to share with the audience. So by focusing on the positive aspects of the situation, you can shift your mindset and feel more confident in your abilities. Focus on your strengths and your accomplishments. All right, I want you to focus on your strengths and your accomplishments. Another crucial step in overcoming imposter syndrome and building self-confidence in your speaking abilities is to reflect on your strengths and your accomplishments. Take that time to remind yourself of your past accomplishments. When you feel like you're not good enough or you're doubting your abilities, I want you to take a moment to reflect on your successes. It can be as simple as reminding yourself of positive feedback you receive from an event planner or a client. No one knows you better than yourself. No one knows you better than yourself. So also spend time reflecting on your strengths, and how you leverage them to perform even better on stage. And then I want you to seek support and guidance from others. Lastly, one of the reasons many speakers struggle with imposter syndrome in the first place is that they struggle to believe any positive self-talk or self-compassion they practice. That is why seeking support and guidance from others can be so important. It's an excellent way to, an excellent way to do this is to seek out mentors, or colleagues who have experience in the speaking space, and they can provide meaningful feedback and support. You can also consider joining online speaking groups to connect with like-minded individuals, and learn from their experience. And a little plug there, Charlie Jane Speakers Club is an awesome one to go and look at, charliejane.com. We have a awesome group of speakers in the Charlie Jane Speakers Club, so I encourage you to go and check that out. It's also essential to seek professional help, support. If you're really struggling with severe imposter syndrome, or even speaking anxiety, maybe a therapist, a counselor, a professional speaking coach can help you walk through like those underlying issues that contribute to imposter syndrome and really provide you with some strategies to help you overcome it. I want you to lean on that support and the guidance offered by Charlie Jane Speakers to help you beat your imposter syndrome once and for all. Okay, so you can take several steps to beat imposter syndrome, but leaning on others for support, for guidance and mentoring can be a very, very powerful tool. At Charlie Jane, we have our, like I mentioned earlier, our thriving and fantastic group on Facebook called Breakthrough Public Speakers, and also the signature Speakers Club I mentioned a little bit ago in the podcast, the Charlie Jane Speakers Club. And these have helped budding and established speakers achieve their goals for almost 2 decades. So if you're unsure of yourself, or you want to start feeling better about where your speaking business is headed, I want you to check out check out our training programs on charliejane.com, CharlieJane.com, or hop over again to our Facebook group, Breakthrough Public Speakers. You will absolutely love it over there, absolutely. So I'll leave a link in the show notes, and I'm going to leave you a free resource like I do on all of my podcasts, and this one is the 50 plus speaking gigs. There are events that are looking for speakers right now. You can go and check that out, get plugged in, research it, see if there's a fit. If there is, go ahead and send your proposal and put yourself out there. Okay, I will leave the link in the show notes. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, and you all take care. Bye.